Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the GamerNerdz Now Loading podcast. It is June 28th, 2012, and we got some, interesting topics to talk about this time around. I'm going to let Dinx lead because he did most of the research this week. I've been on vacation. I'm going to show how little I talk.
So that's a great thing to start off with. I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's been a fairly slow summer, as it always is in video gaming. Don't have a lot of major titles coming out, but there's been some pretty interesting news that came out this week. So last Friday or Thursday or even last week, Nintendo for some reason decided to unveil a new 3DS instead of at E3 because it makes sense. So there was a late night Nintendo Direct conference and they unveiled the 3DS XL, which literally has two screens that are 100% bigger than the previous 3DS. In fact, I looked at the sizing. It's like the Vita screen on top and bottom. It's huge. The visual, like the fidelity of the regular DS games will look really nice on it. The 3D is better on this because of the bigger screen. The unit is more contoured. It's gonna be $200 coming out in August. I don't know why, but I have to have one. They've also announced that they're gonna unveil a Circle Pad Pro for it. So my original 3DS with the Circle Pad Pro was like, 8 feet by 10 feet. This thing's gonna be as big as a car with this add-on.
I'm gonna say a laptop. I don't make cars pushing it. But you know what? I'm actually happy to see that they're making a bigger version of the 3DS because there's a lot of games, especially the ones that are ports of games that are on the consoles, where stuff like the Metal Gear collection, the Metal Gear games, especially the third one, where bosses were hidden in the trees and stuff, and you really needed to see what you're looking at. And I felt that on the 3DS, those games didn't work out that well because you couldn't really see, and it was intrinsic to those titles to see what the fuck was going on. So I'm happy to hear that they're making it bigger. What that means, though, for people who already bought the original, people like you will go off and buy a new one.
They're gonna buy another one.
You'll buy a new one.
But that's the thing, like, when you buy a Nintendo handheld console, you're in denial if you don't think they're gonna make a revision. Like, it's gonna happen. I'm not surprised. The battery life is better on this one. It's more comfortable to hold because it's larger. There's a bunch of other pluses about it, so it's gonna sell really well. And then yes, there's gonna be a 3DS XL Lite, 3DS XL, whatever. But I'm looking forward to that. So August for US, and it's coming out in Europe and Japan in the next few weeks.
The question: are you gonna sell your original 3DS or are you gonna keep it? So you're gonna keep them both?
I don't sell my consoles. I collect everything.
No, I'm with you. I'm the same thing. I collect all of mine. I'm actually interested to hear what you guys think. Will you guys that go off and buy the new one, will you sell it and get a new one, or just keep them both? I'm interested to know, so leave a comment below and all that stuff.
And by the way, expect a review of that by myself and Voyce, because I'm going to force them to buy one, if anything. So something that's not as important, but is very interesting. The Final Fantasy Square Enix guys said that the next Final Fantasy title we're going to see is going to be Final Fantasy XIII-3. Now, I read that, and I'm not going to play it. I don't care about the series. The first thing I do is send it to Voyce because he loves Final Fantasy, and he rolled his eyes.
I did roll my eyes.
Why are they making another game set in this silly universe? Final Fantasy XIII, 2 didn't sell well, and we haven't seen anything about Final Fantasy Versus or whatever. So what the hell's going on?
I don't think it's ever going to come out. I'm really afraid to tread into Final Fantasy territory, especially after the Machinima episode. I'm always afraid. I love Final Fantasy, okay, guys? I love Final Fantasy, but for me to roll my eyes at a Final Fantasy, no, it's a problem. The fact that we're now starting to have sequels to sequels within sequels, I don't know what's going on, and now we have a third one. I really hope it doesn't come out. I really hope it doesn't happen.
It's going to come out. I read the ending of 13-2 was so crazy it has to be...
Well, it was open-ended.
Okay, so there has to be a third one. So they're making that as the next title, and what they also said was there will not be a remake to Final Fantasy VII until the quality of that game is met or surpassed. The rate Square Enix is going, there's never ever going to be a Final Fantasy VII HD remake.
Well, we saw the Final Fantasy. I don't know if it's a future game or a tech demo of sorts.
Luminous tech demo.
It's a tech demo? Okay, but that looks good. That looks good. So if the next Final Fantasy, 15, because I think we saw 14 already, and it was
the multiplayer.
I pretend it don't happen. If 15 comes out,
he pretend it don't happen.
I pretend. Okay, whatever, man. I'm on vacation right now. All right, guys. You dragged my ass to the studio. So Final Fantasy 15, if it uses those specs and looks like that, and the story actually, is more engulfing then I'll be happy to see it. But honestly, with the rate,
I think you're putting way too much, faith into a developer that doesn't know what it's doing. And actually, today I read that they spoke about this this technology. So it's called the Luminous demo or whatever, and they're saying that some of the visuals are actual CG within the game, and it's going to be too big to fit on a Blu-ray disc if they make a whole game like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this tech demo leads to for the next generation, because obviously the current gen consoles cannot handle it.
I think for sure it's going to be at PS4, Xbox 720 or whatever. Okay, moving on to the next topic.
So before we get on to our topic of the day, a very interesting comment was made by the PlayStation CEO, who said the PS Vita has a raft, and I quote, a good raft of titles coming down the line. And when asked why none of this was shown at E3, his response was, "We will show you when the time is right."
I seriously think that this was just a response to all the backlash from not seeing enough games for the PS Vita at the E3.
How about
E3
how about seeing any games?
Oh yeah, we saw Assassin's Creed Liberation, and I think that was pretty much. And no, we saw a few games, but they were kind of like flash in your face really quickly.
No, I think it was just that, and then you saw the title screen of Call of Duty Black Ops.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Declassified.
Whatever
the hell it's called.
So we didn't see that much.
When you get on a raft, that means you're bailing out of a sinking ship.
Yeah.
I thought the term was really funny. The Vita is not doing good at all. Like, I don't know what people think. It's not selling. The most recent game was a game called Gravity Rush. I'm not sure if that was even good. The most Resistance game that came out was very poorly received. It needs big titles because 3DS is really picking up steam. If you guys have a 3DS, make sure you download the Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance demo. I played it. I didn't like Kingdom Hearts at first, so the demo is really good. Check out my preview on GamerNerdz.com soon. I mean, the 3DS has these really good, original, awesome titles coming out. It's getting its stride. You have a new 3DS coming. My Vita, I haven't played in a while because it's like, what's there to play?
Yeah, the Vita, there really isn't much. I mean, I'm still playing Uncharted Golden Abyss. I mean, that's it. I'm dragging out that game so much to the point because I'm afraid if I beat that game, I won't have anything else to play until Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation comes out. Anyway, so I'm a little scared. I really hope Sony, really does mention some good stuff in this raft of theirs. But let's move on to the final topic, and that's the Mass Effect 3 extended endings that were recently released by Bioware.
Yeah.
So now listen guys, if you have not beaten the game, played the Mass Effect franchise, or even watched extended endings, you can stop listening now.
So basically you guys can leave earlier than you normally do instead of listening to the whole episode.
Spoiler alert.
Pretty much.
1. Spoiler alert 2.
I'm like, really? Just get into it.
All right, get into it. Start.
Okay, so when I first beat Mass Effect 3, I chose the Destroy ending because I hated everything about the Reapers. I wanted them off the Earth, and I got the best ending. I had done all the war assets. Seeing the new version of the extended ending, Bioware, you guys did a really good job. I tweeted to you guys that there has been some faith restored because they showed scenes that it just shocks me that they didn't do this the first time. Like, in the Destroy ending, you see the state of a couple of your troops on the ground as that beam of red light is going out. They're fighting against husks, and you see the husks, basically get burned into vapor, and these guys survive. So obviously there was some damage done because in the control and synthesis ending, those husks, they run away or they work with you,
Yeah.
And then there's a really, really amazing scene where you finally see who's survived and who's died. And there's a scene where your squad mates who have crash landed on a planet, which they later fly off of, putting your name on a plaque, commemorating you. Like, had I seen that the first time around, it would have had so much more of an impact.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's good. Like, the endings I think they're a good 3-4 minutes longer, and there's a lot of, you see what happens to your colleagues, to all the planets, you see who's lived, who survived. You see the results of the mass relays, they're not destroyed, they're being rebuilt. People are moving on to like, it should have been there the first time.
It's really funny because I don't understand why they weren't there in the first place. And I mean, yeah, I'm happy Bioware put them in and called them extended endings, but it's almost like Bioware assumed we were supposed to get all that from the original endings. It's impossible.
No, the original endings, here's a different color. Okay, now assume what the hell you want.
It's like, what? I do like the new endings. I'm happy that they added in the refusal ending. I actually didn't think that there'll be a 4th ending put in, but there's a refusal ending for anyone who complained that, our Shepard would have said "fuck you" and moved on, and there is that ending, but if that happens, hey, all shit goes to hell, right? So I'm happy they did that. The synthesis ending though now has, like you said, has so much more impact. Anyway, that's the one I chose, the synthesis ending, and that one, honestly, when I saw, when they put Shepard's name on the, oh man, that shit destroyed me.
Yeah, because like there's impact there, right? And then you see like the Reapers working with the humans to rebuild London, for example, or they're putting back the Imperial Armada. Like there's stuff like that which you see the status of the Krogans. They're rebuilding Tuchanka, and the Turians that are fighting together against there's all this stuff that
wasn't in the original.
I mean, it's a big down. It's 2 gigabytes,
it's
right?
Big, yeah.
You have to play the game after the Cerberus attack mission to start these new. Because even before the ending, before you kill Marauder shields and essentially beat the final boss of the game, there's another scene, where Shepard says goodbye to Liara. And the Normandy, for example, looks like eye to Harbinger, the Reaper, leader, and then flies off. Like that's a huge difference from the older ending. So they really thought it through, and I'm sure the mass of the lawsuits they had, potentially coming, like it should have been there in the first place. There's still some plot holes and stuff, but I think it's significantly better than what we had originally.
Yeah, I'm gonna get your opinion on this though, because when I originally saw the first endings, in order for me to go to sleep and not hate BioWare, I had to come up with the indoctrination.
No, I sent you like 50 million videos trying to prove that.
Sent me a shitload of them, and I had to go to sleep with that because that made me feel better about the ending. Now, with these new extended endings, it's shown obviously that that's not the case. But I still feel because of that there are some holes that within the game.
It's not perfect. Like even after reading people's thoughts on it, a lot of people still hate it. They hate it a little bit less than the original endings because BioWare actually showed what happened to the Krogan, or what happened to Liara, or what happened to your squad mates. So there are problems, like the mass relays get blown up, but only in this now, it only shows the rings get blown up, not the whole
thing. Yeah.
Unless you guys get the bad destroy ending, where everyone, the state of the world is pretty much in shambles and you're stranded. So there's still a lot of plot holes. Some have been sealed up, but at the end of the day, they didn't have to do this. It didn't have to be free. It's been 2 months since the game came out, 3 months. I mean, my hat's off to BioWare. I mean, you guys did something better than what you originally did, and Mass Effect 3 now is a better title in my mind. If you're playing it for the first time, I mean, I envy you guys because the impact will be, that much stronger.
Being someone that really likes to pay attention to the Mass Effect lore and pay attention to the intricate details, I still feel that when they originally made the game, the ending must have had indoctrination somehow involved in it, because
I think it was completely open, and you had all these crazy, conspiracy theory videos, and I had to believe the indoctrination like you did, because if it wasn't that, then it was just the stupidest ending ever.
But which is funny, because the fix that BioWare did shows that the original endings were just stupid. There weren't hidden messages within it. No, it was just, they really were just what you saw, just stupid. So that bothers me a little bit, because if they had gone the whole indoctrination thing, then I would have said, BioWare just assumed that the community was smarter.
And the indoctrination theory was like the 2 videos I watched, like. It's almost like if you guys have seen Prometheus, like Prometheus has a very strong, indication towards Jesus being one of the engineers. The engineers want to go back to Earth to kill, eliminate the human race because they killed him. And there's this whole thing about, the doctor having an alien baby on Christmas with no father. All this stuff, biblical references. So you can look really far into the details and try to find something to make yourself believe it was better. But the Mass Effect 3 ending originally was garbage. I hated it. It ruined the game for me. When he beat it, he hated it. It ruined the game for me. So
wait. When I beat it, it still ruined the game for you?
Yeah, because because I thought maybe you would think of something else, or be like, no, I'm looking at it wrong. But no, you felt the exact same way. And the worst part is when I beat Mass Effect 3 first time, I went to NeoGraph and I said, guys, you guys are nuts. The ending was amazing. I loved it. And everyone started laughing at me. And then they said, go watch the other... No, and then I said, I'm going to go watch the other endings. And they're like, yeah, go watch the other endings, quote unquote. And then I watched this video on Kotaku which showed all 4 endings. And I'm like, oh my god, it's the exact same thing with different colors. Thank you, BioWare, for getting rid of colored space magic.
But I think the viewers are really happy that you did not spoiler alert them before spoiling Prometheus.
Oh, whatever. Prometheus is like... It was a good movie. It was some very silly moments, but there's a really cool theory about how it all being around Jesus and the Virgin Mary and Dr. Shaw being the Virgin Mary, and you read about this. It's on the title is what Prometheus is really about.
I'm really happy that after I addressed you spoiling it, you went further to spoil
Whatever. Everyone's seen it by now. Okay.
All I know is, okay, I'm not gonna say anything about the movie. I won't spoil it. But at the end of the movie, there's a point where a smaller ship crashes. I'm not gonna say what kind of ship it was, and everything in the ship is destroyed. And then the main character walks inside, and it's just bottle of, I forget which drink it is. It's just on the table, on the bar, just like positioned, properly. I'm like, didn't this ship crash? How is that shit just like? Anyway, there were some, obviously it was advertising and it was just really badly done. Just wanted to point that out. That was terrible, guys. So that's it. I think we've addressed everything. We've spoiled Mass Effect. We spoiled Prometheus.
But I didn't spoil anything. I spoiled like the main theme, but you have to really look into it. You
really spoiled it. So anyway, that's it from us. I think, right? Good. So we're tuning out. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at TheGamerNerdz. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook if you want to. Go to our website, TheGamerNerdz.com. That's it for us. I'm out. You're out.
We're out of here.
That's it.
Prometheus was pretty average.
It was okay.
Average.
It's better than Battleship.
You watched Battleship?